Hey everyone, Roger Haskett here, talking to people in a pandemic. And so the last couple videos I've been making are all about how the engagement bar is rising and how engagement is more important now than ever, and the value of engagement, and how necessary it is if we want to connect digitally, and how important it is to have people involved in their own learning and involved in their own process of interaction through digital, so that we need to break down this idea that it's, more of a screen, that we are broadcasting information to people, and rather think of it more as to keep struggling to find ways to create interaction in this digital world. So, these are the things that I've been putting out and thinking a lot about. And so I just want to read one of the responses I got from Sandra Wood, CMP, who said, my association hosted a webinar last week. I felt it was the most successful to date because we had good engagement. So right there, isn't that amazing? That the most successful webinar, the most successful meeting that you created to date was one that was successful because it had engagement. It had good engagement. That engagement, as we've been arguing all along, is a magnifier and multiplier. When you put engagement into the room, whether that room is digital or live or hybrid, what you get out of that room is way more beneficial, way more powerful, and you get better learning, you get better relationships, you get better connections. She goes on to say, so I agree with Roger Haskett. Sandra, I love you for saying that. In fact, I'm avoiding the word webinar and sticking with discussion in my promotions. Might as well tell the audience what you want your session to be. If you tell them webinar, people automatically make assumptions and sit back and sit and listen only. So let's get talking. So first of all, Sandra, woo, that's an amazing comment and so insightful. I love the idea of switching from webinar. Webinar, I hear about going to a webinar and I go, I'm like, really? Do I want to put time into that thing, which is going to be someone talking at me and me deciding if I'm interested or deciding if I'm going to be doing more things on, my phone or whatever, because webinars lack the ability, for the most part, of pulling people in. And if you're not pulling people in, what are you doing, right? Like if you're only broadcasting at people, you are limiting how much you're gonna get out of them, how much you're gonna get out of the meeting, how much everyone's gonna get out of everything. Like, why be in a meeting if we're not getting stuff out of it, right? Like, we've all been in those meetings where it seems like there's absolutely nothing of value happening. And don't you feel like in those meetings that, you're like, if I had a big rock, I'd bash it against my head just to make something more interesting than what's going on? So I think Sandra has totally captured this idea. The idea of how can we start talking about our interactions digitally so that people understand what their role is. Because in a normal digital meeting these days, a typical digital meeting means one or two people are doing things while everyone else is absorbing. Absorbing is not the best way to learn. We're not sponges, we're humans. As a matter of fact, 80 to 95% of the information that you put into your brain will fall out the other side of your head to fall on the ground, never to be remembered again, because we are not sponges. The best way for us to absorb information is to actually interact with it, for us to talk about it, for us to discuss, for us to put our ideas on the table, for us to listen to other people's ideas and go, that's a pretty good idea, and to be actively involved. So the engagement bar is rising, and I'm happy to say, I just rose up too, I'm happy to say that we are going to see more and more efforts to create engagement in this digital world. And thank goodness, because we desperately need it. And this world that we're in now is not going away anytime soon. Not just because of COVID, but once COVID goes away, we are never going back from a digital world. There will always be digital elements to our meetings, to our interactions, because it is so powerful. It is so profoundly powerful to have a communication device that you can interact with from your own location that still allows you to be interactive with other people. So let's go back to the sitting intimate cam. All right, I'm Roger Haskett. We're talking to people in a pandemic, and this one has been about how valuable it is to think about engagement and how valuable it is to have engagement in your sessions. This is all we hear, people saying, yeah, Roger, we want you back for this virtual keynote. We want you back for another virtual MC, because what you bring to this experience pulls people in. And what we bring to the experience is engagement. All right, talk to you later. Hey everyone, I just want to thank you so much for taking the time to watch this, and please like, subscribe, and share so other people have a chance to come in contact with this information as well. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.